one of the things we kind of pieced together, that something was going on with, once again, you can't say, hey, yeah, there's this negative entity there or a spirit there trying to cause a fire, because you'll never be able to prove that. But it was just kind of weird, the history of fire and everything going on there. Maybe it was a spirit trying to tell them, hey, you need to, just watch yourselves, watch your fire systems, or it's weird, and you really can't put your finger on it. But that's one of the things we went with, which was good for the owners of the property, just letting them know, guys, you need to take better care of, looking out for these type of things, because you could have another fire, it could burn the castle down, and so and so.
Yeah, definitely. And I see you guys use all kind of assortment of equipment on there. I mean, some even new age stuff. What's some of the stuff you use there for equipment? What's your favorite piece that you use?
Well, favorite piece is a piece of equipment that we just introduced in season 2. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but everybody, when they watch season 2, they're going to see this. It's groundbreaking equipment that's never been used in paranormal before. It's a special camera. But the stuff that we started using in last season was, like the data recorders. They're almost foolproof. They're not like the old millimeters back in the day where, you can set them off with a radio or a walkie-talkie. The millimeter, I mean, it measures temperature, temperature increase, temperature decrease. It measures pressure, humidity. So what we were able to do is when you have a paranormal experience, these things actually measure all that, and we're able to download it. So we see when we're getting an EVP, and there's also a spike of some sort on the data recorder, that we're able to measure that. And a lot of times when you're seeing this paranormal activity happen on camera, or it's happening, in real time, and your data recorder is recording this, you'll see different temperatures. You'll see temperature spikes or temperature decrease. You'll see pressure increase or pressure decrease. You'll see humidity. You'll see all these different things happening at the same time paranormal activity is happening. We try to put science behind what we're doing, not just, hey, we're out here with a bunch of equipment and saying, oh, there's a ghost here. We're not looking for ghosts. We're looking for the truth. We're trying to show science behind what we're finding. That way we can further the field.
Right, and I believe that one piece of equipment that maybe it's what you're talking about that you used, it showed all kind of different things on there, like temperature and different assortment of data.
Yeah, that's the data recorder. That measures it'll actually measures temperature increase, decrease. It measures pressure. It measures humidity, and it also has vibration on it. There's different settings you can do. So wherever you are, whatever location, whatever it calls for, we can set it. And usually what we'll do is when we go into a location, we'll set it where it picks up EMF as well. We'll set it up where it'll actually read all these things at the same time. So if you're having these, paranormal experiences, like you're hearing footsteps or you're hearing noises in a building or you're getting an EVP, a lot of times it'll register on that piece of equipment and say, oh, this is what's happening at the same exact time you're getting an EVP, or the same exact time you're hearing these footsteps. You're getting pressure increases in the atmosphere. You're getting temperature decrease or temperature increase. You're getting humidity drops or humidity increase. You're having all this stuff happen at the same exact time a paranormal experience is happening. So there's got to be something there, something going on more that science needs to look into, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to further that with the equipment we're using.
Yeah, I love the fact that you can collaborate or validate something with 2 or 3 things at the same time. I think that's fantastic, because that's come a long ways from back when I started doing that kind of stuff back in the 80s, let me tell you. But yeah, I think that's fantastic.
Well, yeah,
that you do that.
Yeah, the field has changed so much in the last few years with all the new equipment out there, but the stuff that we're using a lot of time is it's not made for paranormal. We're using stuff that's actually used in science for certain things, or used in the field, contractors use, or whatever. Some professional will use this equipment for something else, but we're using it to measure paranormal activity. and we're getting proven science behind it, showing this is what's happening at the exact same time this is happening. So where do you go from here?
Right. I say whatever works. I'm all for that. I think that's a great idea. Absolutely. And I know there was another place you guys investigated. It was a school. I can't remember the name of it. I remember there was a big gymnasium. I think there was you debunked something on the camera. It was a spider web or something. You familiar? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Pocatello. That was in Idaho. Yeah, Pocatello High School, which was exposed a few years ago. It had made national news where they caught this apparition on the school cameras after hours. Well, we were able to come in there and figure out that what they actually were seeing was like a dust web or a spider web, kind of like when the air would kick on, it would move across the actual camera, the security camera. So, but I mean, in that too, they were having all kinds of other activity that was going on in the building, and we were actually able to capture some really cool stuff that happened in the auditorium. Auditorium up in the balcony area was pretty active. We were having a lot of strange things happening up there. We took a Tesla speaker up there and kind of, just basically charged the atmosphere with this Tesla speaker, which is basically a smaller version of a Tesla coil. And at that same time, we had 4 or 5 flashlights sitting on a table, and the energy was being drained out of them. We were having all kinds of camera malfunctions. We got a couple of EVPs out of it. So we don't know exactly who it was that was there, but they were having activity, and we were able to also to debunk some things. And that's one of the things we do when we go into investigation. First thing is you take all these claims, you listen to everybody, you listen to all their stories, and then once you start investigating, you try to debunk some of it first. That way, then once you debunk it, you figure out, oh, this is what they're seeing. They're seeing car lights. They're not seeing an apparition or whatever, Then you start investigating to see if there's anything there. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, on these cases, we actually capture, a lot of cool evidence.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One of the things I like that Grant does, well, he used to, and I'm sure he still does, is he takes a baseline of EMF and all kind of stuff, around, because I know my experiences, some of the high EMFs can cause people to see or hallucinate in, mold also, and other things, and carbon monoxide. So I know you guys still do that kind of stuff work too, right?
Yeah, we do that. We did. You'll see us. I think we were in Gettysburg. We did a test on a house that they were down in the basement. They were having weird feelings, and we did a carbon monoxide test and EMF test and things of that nature. And we didn't get any high readings, so we furthered it with doing an investigation where we started capturing some stuff. But we use that. A lot of times you don't see it on the show because, like I said, there's only 43 minutes, and you people really want to see the investigating part of it. So, but before we do all that stuff, we go into a location and we do those kinds of tests just to make sure there's not black. We've been in locations where there's been so much mold in them, we had to walk away from them. We had a case, I can't really mention where it was, but the mold was in. There was so much black mold in the building. This was a huge building. This was 4 stories. It was, probably about 30,000 square feet of building, and we had to leave it. We were there for a day because the black mold was so bad, and there was asbestos in the building as well, and we couldn't, for our own safety and the crew's safety, we couldn't be in there, and we had to walk away from it. We watch out for stuff like that.
Yeah, that's one of the hidden dangers. A lot of people don't realize, I've been doing this for 30 plus years, but asbestos, buildings could be falling, you could fall through the floor, bugs, high mold, EMF, all these things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you saw the one episode we were in at the plantation in Louisiana. I mean, Brian fell through the stairs. I mean, so it's dangerous. Some of these places you go, you don't know what you're walking into. We've been in buildings where half the floors were gone, and what we do beforehand, we usually try to walk the buildings before we do an investigation, and we'll we either put up like caution tape in the areas that are bad, or we'll put glow sticks down the floor showing where locations you can't walk. Things that's stuff you don't see on the show, but our crew does a lot of that behind the scenes.
I was going to ask you, who's the guinea pig you send in first to walk through to see if they fall through the floor?
It's usually some of the crew, the producers will go through, and they'll make sure some of these places they do a pre-walk before we actually do our tour. We don't even meet the people or anything before they check out these locations to make sure they're safe, but for us to even walk into them, because we are going into a lot of abandoned buildings and places like that, so you don't know what you're going to walk into. And one of the jobs of me on the show, is logistics, and that's one of the things I always look out for too, is making sure the team's safe by checking out these places and saying, "Oh, guys, you got to watch out for this handrail. It's about ready to fall off. Don't touch it when you're walking up the steps. Or watch out for these holes in the floor. Or watch out for this rotten staircase." So there's things like that, that we all have our own little jobs we do behind the scenes as well.
Yeah, right. Now that plantation, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate that one for paranormal?
I would say probably an 8 or a 9, to be honest with you. We had a lot of really strange personal experiences happen there that we weren't able to capture on camera. Like there was a investigation that was me, Grant, Brandon, and Mustafa in the upstairs, and we were investigating, and we had some strange stuff happen in the one room where, and it's sad, but our cameras weren't pointing toward it when it happened. Like we had 3 cameramen with us, and they were all at the same time on us. You got our reaction to what happened, but you couldn't see what happened. The actual room at one point, now we're in the pitch black, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, the whole room lit up. The room across from us lit up, and we saw an apparition walk from left to right and back again within maybe like a 4 or 5 second period. And it was strange because I've never seen an apparition like that before. Brandon was closer to the doorway, and I think I was behind him, and then Grant was behind me, and then Mustafa was off to the left-hand side. But we all saw different parts of it, and Brandon actually saw what looked like a dress. I saw the room light up, and I saw the apparition, but I couldn't see the full apparition. That place is very strange. We had a producer there that got freaked out. He was with me doing an interview. The cameraman and him both saw. I didn't see it because I wasn't looking in that direction, but they were looking at me, and they saw what was behind me, this large ball of light basically traveled from one side of the room to the other, probably about 6 or 7 foot off the floor. That freaked them out. They've never seen anything like that. So that place was pretty active. I mean, it was a very interesting case, to say the least.
Now, where you guys saw the apparition, was that in the main house, or was that I remember, was it the main house?
Yeah, it was the main house.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It was on the second floor of the main house, yeah.
Second floor, because I recall seeing that now, because, several people seen it, but you guys didn't get to catch it on camera, I don't believe. Or did you? You still there, Daryl? Daryl? Oh, we must have lost Daryl.
You hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you now. I think we lost you for a minute, but you're here now, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Anyway, I was going to say, you didn't get to catch that on camera, that apparition, did you guys?
No, we saw it. Like I said, we had 3 camera guys with us at the time, and they were all pointing at us. Like, because there was 4 of us in the rooms, we had 3 camera guys, and they were all on us. When we were getting so much activity in that room at the time, the room we were in, like we were getting, like you could feel these cold, like it was strange, like these really cold spots where the temperature would drop like 20 degrees, and we had all our meters were going off, and then all of a sudden that one room just lit up, and we saw, Brandon and I and Grant saw this apparition move from left to right and back again. It was very strange. It happened so fast.
Now, did you guys get any EVPs in that area?
Off the top of my head, yeah, we got EVPs. I don't think it was during that actual investigation. I think it was